Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to News Dose, and happy Starfield Day. I know a lot of people are super excited to play, but also those reviews, Starfield reviews, are out, and truthfully, I don't know if there's ever been a single game where so many people are just absolutely glued to their screen to see what its scores will be. But now that reviews are rolling out, we'll dive into all of that today. Then also, Sony took a lot of people by surprise with a baffling price hike. Now, Sony's not necessarily strangers when it comes to price hikes per se, but this one especially, I think, looks bad because I don't think that they've necessarily justified its new price tag. So, yeah, we're going to go over that one as well and all of the backlash from fans because, there's quite a bit right now. As always, though, guys, we do have a lot to get into today, so let's just go and jump right into things, starting off with Mario Wonder. They did have that Mario Wonder Direct this morning where they revealed roughly 15 minutes of gameplay, and right away, the good news here is that it looks fun, and it also looks refreshing. This is not just your typical 2D Mario game. There's a lot of creative ideas here. They are trying some new things with its Wonder mechanic where it can completely change the gameplay just like that. At one moment, you might turn into a Goomba, which that might make things a little bit more difficult, but also fun, whereas the next, you might change perspectives where you walk on walls instead of the floor. My impression of Mario Wonder right now is that it's bizarrely creative. I really like the idea of this game, and I think it's going to bring something new to the table when it comes to 2D platformers. But one of the big topics going into this event is whether or not Mario Wonder will have online multiplayer. They've yet to really answer that question, but today they did finally confirm that Mario Wonder does indeed have online multiplayer, but truthfully, it's just not very good. You don't actually play directly with online players as you would hope, but rather it's kind of Dark Souls-esque where you can see ghosts of other people playing the same level as you, a shared world, if you will. It honestly kind of seems a little bit like an easy mode to me, which isn't exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to a Mario game. They're usually not overly difficult in the first place, but there it is. Honestly, I think that this is a letdown because, it's 2023. Online multiplayer should be there. But like I said before, Mario Wonder does look fun and refreshing, and despite its lack of enticing online multiplayer, the rest of the game looks really good. Its single player looks fun and refreshing, and its local multiplayer is top-notch from what we've seen so far. It's just some people might not necessarily be able to experience that part of the game because they don't have people at home that they can play with. I'm still going to buy Mario Wonder, and I'm probably going to greatly enjoy it, but yeah, I wish Nintendo would kind of get with the times here and, add online multiplayer. Moving on, though, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Best Buy pre-orders went live just kind of out of nowhere, and this has a lot of people thinking that a release date announcement might be inbound. And, when you think about it, this does kind of make sense. What we know is that Square Enix intends to release Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in early 2024. This is very public information, which that's right around the corner by this point. So it wouldn't be shocking to get a more concrete release date relatively soon, though that kind of begs the questions. When and where? Well, with this pre-order popping up here, a lot of fans are looking at September with hopeful eyes. One place that is heavily being speculated right now is TGS 2023, the Tokyo Game Show, that will run through September 21st to the 24th. And there's a lot of hype this year for TGS. A lot of publishers are set to make an appearance, including Bandai Namco, Sega and Atlus is going to be there. You have Capcom, Konami, and then, yes, Square Enix as well. So maybe they could reveal some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth information there. Crossing my fingers because I am looking forward to it myself. Now, there's also some rumors that Sony might have their own showcase in September. They do like that September month a lot, so if they were to show up, then that could be a realistic reveal considering their partnership with Square Enix. Just kind of keep in mind that that's more speculation than anything else. But hey, if you're eagerly awaiting for more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth information, Square Enix will likely lift the lids here in the nearest future. It's only a matter of time by this point. Okay, So let's go and talk about those Starfield reviews. I know a lot of people are just obsessed with how this game scores. Going back as far as last year, some people even claim that Starfield is the make it or break it game for Xbox as a brand. I think that's a little dramatic, but nonetheless, Starfield is scoring very well. I guess the Xbox brand gets to continue after all. As of this recording, though, the Xbox version has an 87 overall score on Metacritic, and the PC version has an 88, which is quite interesting because the reactions have been nothing but chaos, as was to be expected. This is a huge game, and a lot of people are upset with it being an Xbox branded game. We've talked about this. I mentioned this yesterday. It didn't really matter what this game was going to score. People are going to lose what's left of their minds, and yeah, people are jumping through hoops now, acting like this is not a good score. It's weird, but that's where we are. The fact is, though, Starfield is being received very well outside of a few outliers, which has brought its score down. IGN being one, which gave it a 7. I've seen them take a lot of heat for their score online because their Xbox coverage recently has been viewed as a little shady, to say the least. We won't get into that in this video, but without a doubt, an 87 overall score is very good. Now, if it scored in the 70s, then we might be having a different conversation here, but an 87 is absolutely fantastic. This actually puts Starfield right in line with games like Spider-Man and Final Fantasy XVI. These are all viewed as Game of the Year contenders, they are fan favorites, and Starfield has a very good chance at doing that as well. The only thing is that because 2023 has been so stacked, we'll see how the Game of the Year candidates shape up this year, but from what I've seen from reviews, Starfield delivers on its ambitious promise. It is a massive game as expected, and a lot of reviewers are explaining how its universe, characters, and story all captivated them. So it more or less sounds like what you would expect from a Bethesda RPG. If you like Fallout, if you like Oblivion or Skyrim, you're probably going to like Starfield as well. And that's a great sign because those are some of the most popular RPGs ever made. I mentioned this the other day, but I said if Starfield reviews well, which it has, this game is going to explode online. Starfield's universe might be massive, but so too will its player count. I mean, it's launching directly into Game Pass, so a lot of people are going to play it through that. But even more so, Bethesda's RPGs are incredibly popular on PC. In fact, Starfield has been the bestseller on Steam this past week, and I imagine that's only going to increase from here on out. I think that it's going to put up some crazy numbers on Steam and Xbox combined. But either way, Bethesda has done it once again. They've made another single-player RPG that fans can play for years and years to come. For that matter, big congrats to both Xbox and fans alike. Starfield has cemented itself as a top-tier AAA game. Moving on, though, and we're going to have to change gears here for a moment because we need to talk about Sony. They surprised the gaming world yesterday with some PlayStation Plus announcements, and really for all of the wrong reasons. So typically every month they come out and they reveal their PlayStation Plus games through a blog post, and they did that once again for the month of September. At first it was just kind of like, okay, here's 3 more games. PlayStation Plus subscribers will get Saints Row, Black Desert, and Generation Zero for the month of September. Not exactly a great lineup of games, but you know, that's the thing here. That wasn't the shocking news that has people so upset. I mean, sure, it might have added to it, but the big news nugget was right at the bottom of this blog post where Sony left a little side note that just nonchalantly mentioned that they're raising prices for PlayStation Plus starting September 6th across the board. Not just one tier, but every single tier. And this isn't just a $1 increase that we're talking about. If you remember right, a few months back, Xbox Game Pass rose in price by $1 a month. But Sony, apparently they feel PlayStation Plus is like a gold mine or something because they rose the price by up to 30%. That is a major price increase. But if you look at the price changes, this is how much they changed by. So starting September 6th, PlayStation Plus Essential will be $80. Previously, it was $60. PlayStation Plus Extra will be $135, up from $100. And then Premium, that will now be $160, up from $120. Those are dramatic price increases. And again, this takes me back to their offering. I mean, we just talked about their September games, which aren't great. I definitely don't think that it's worth $80 a year for, but I want to focus on PlayStation Plus Extra. With its price increasing to $135 a year, that puts it right in line with Xbox Game Pass for consoles. That goes for $11 a month, which comes out to $132 a year. But there's a huge difference between PlayStation Plus Extra and Xbox Game Pass for consoles. Microsoft has heavily invested in day one releases. They went out and they acquired Bethesda, and they're trying to acquire Activision Blizzard. So not only do they launch their own first-party games into Game Pass day one, which includes games like Starfield, that immediately saves you $70, but they also partner up with third parties. Every single month, Xbox Game Pass gets new day one games, whereas Sony, they don't really do that. Now, sometimes, which is very rare, but sometimes they might get a day one third-party game like Stray as an example, but when it comes to their first party, they've been adamant that they do not want to include their games into PlayStation Plus day one. Yet here, they want consumers to pay the same amount of money that Microsoft offers Xbox Game Pass for consoles for. I'll let you be the judge on if you think the two are comparable, but for me, I kind of look at Sony's offering, and I don't know if its price tag is necessarily justified. Now, maybe Sony might reconsider putting their games into PlayStation Plus with this price increase. Maybe this is a sign that they will. Really, I would even say that if they stagger their games by, let's say, 6 months, then we can kind of reapproach this topic as well, because that then might be worth it for a lot of consumers. But as things stand right now, and that's all I can really kind of go off of today, I just don't see how their current offering justifies being the same price as Xbox Game Pass for consoles. I don't see how PlayStation Plus Essential is worth $80 when their monthly offering can be very hit or miss. I don't see how PlayStation Plus Premium is worth $160 a year when the big bonus are classic games, which, by the way, they don't add those in fast enough. I've actually always said that they should be in a completely separate, cheaper tier, but hey, that's just my own opinion. The prices here, though, without a doubt, are just too high, and that right there is the baffling part. It's almost like Sony is so confident that they can just raise prices by up to 30+% without sweetening the pot. I mean, it would have been one thing if they came out and they suggested that they were going to improve it going forward, but they didn't do that. So I think that's one of the reasons that you're seeing a lot of backlash for the price increase. I mean, this is quite dramatic, but let me know what you all think about this. Do you think PlayStation Plus is worth these prices, or do you think that this is just far too high? Let me know in the comments below. Now, unfortunately for our last topic of the day, we do have a delay to go over, and this is for the Suikoden collection. In a post to fans, they said, regarding the planned release of Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, we have reached the conclusion that despite the very best efforts of our dedicated development staff to release the remasters in 2023, additional time is needed to ensure the quality performance and gameplay experience our users deserve. The entire Suikoden team is renewing our efforts to bring Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster to release as soon as is possible. So there you go. These games are no longer slated for 2023. Though I got to be honest here, I don't view this as a bad thing. I mean, delays are always disappointing to a degree, and I do understand that, but I think in this situation, if you look at the rest of 2023, it's truthfully crowded enough. So I look at this delay as not only an opportunity for them to ensure a better quality release, but it also gives them an opportunity to release it in a slower period of the year where it can truly stand out. You know, these games are viewed as classics for a reason, and I think especially Suikoden 2, a lot of fans view Suikoden 2 as an all-time great, so I'd like to see them get the recognition that they deserve, and 2024 might be a better time slot for these games. Let's go take a look at the poll of the day, though. We're asked you all, are you going to get Starfield's early access, or are you going to wait for its full release? And a good portion of you all are set to jump in later today. 39% of you voted yes, 45% voted no, and then 12% said that they weren't interested. So what that kind of tells me is that, one, fans are super hyped, which I think was already fairly obvious, but it also tells me that Xbox and Bethesda made a smart decision here. There's always a lot of questions in how Xbox can make money with their day one Xbox Game Pass titles, and this is proving to be a good option here. This is a single-player game, but you can pay $35 for its early access and get some bonus items. I think that that's fair overall. Fans are still paying half the price that they would originally, and the developers can make some extra money for their hard work. Everybody wins. Either way, I am with the 39% here. I will be jumping in hopefully tomorrow. I got the physical upgrade because I wanted it for my own collection. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode. But if you liked the video, don't forget to bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.